Give me a sign.
Any sign.
Recording in progress.
Sign is the red light.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to the Whitehall City Council meeting of July 19th, 2022. It's very nice to see the chambers filled with folks this evening and look forward to some presentations coming up. If you would please all rise for a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, would you please call roll?
Sure. Smith?
Present.
Bailey?
Present.
Dixon?
Present.
Elmore?
Present.
Coniston?
Present.
Cantor?
Present.
Peck? Present. Carr?
Present. At this time, I'd accept a motion for the approval of the minutes of the July 5th, 2022 agenda and regular meeting minutes.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
There's been a motion by Ms. Coniston, second by Mr. Cantor for the approval of the minutes. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. At this time, we've got a first of our presentations will be Chief Crispin with the Whitehall Youth Police Academy graduates. If you would, please come forward.
Council and Mr. President, thank you for an opportunity quickly again this year. As you see, it keeps growing from the previous years. I won't spend a lot of time talking about it because I'm not the one that does it, they do it. But I would like to say thanks to each of you for an opportunity to recognize them in front of their families, in front of their community, because when they get done explaining what the program is a little bit about, and obviously you'll have good questions, I'm sure, but this program just keeps growing each year. It's an opportunity for us to see tomorrow's leaders, an opportunity for us to see Whitehall's future, and man, it just keeps getting bigger. I'm so proud of what they've done and who they are that I'm going to turn it over to them. I'll let them explain a little bit more. And since Tanner was so prepared for Mark to walk away and not talk.
Mayor, members of council, thank you for having us again tonight. I just want to reiterate what the chief already said. This is growing. Our Youth Police Academy doubled in size from last year to this year. We had 15 youth this year, which is amazing. It's awesome that we get that many kids involved. As you know, we were here last year. The purpose of this program is to teach our youth a little bit more about what the police do. It's not necessarily for youth that want to be the police someday, although we do definitely get students that are interested in a career in law enforcement, some from like Eastland Clearfield's criminal justice program. But it's also just for students who want to learn a little bit more about the police, why the police do what they do, how to interact with the police, even a little bit about, we talk about laws that are commonly violated by youth offenders and talk about what are the elements of those offenses. In some cases, youth don't even know that it is illegal. One we get a lot is fighting. They don't understand that that can be a violation of disorderly conduct, which is a crime. So these are kind of the examples that I would give as to the purpose of this program. I think all the kids really liked it. We bring in a lot of outside speakers to make it more interesting, so it's not just us talking. We had members of the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. We had members of the Secret Service. We have the SWAT team come in. We have canines from all over Franklin County come in, and they share their experience. They share their equipment. They talk about what they do. And then we have a curriculum that we teach, and they have a test on it at the end. And we do have an agreement with the school. The school actually gives them partial credit for the test that they take for our program, which I think is really good. So once again, thank you for everyone who participated. And what questions can I answer for you?
I know you shared this with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you shared this with us last year, but you can just walk us a little bit through how long the program goes and classes and things of that nature.
So the program is 5 days a week for 2 weeks for 2 hours a day. This year we met from 11 to 1. Monday through Friday, for 2 weeks.
What's your age, the ages?
They've got to be going into sophomore through graduation.
So who's the youngest? Do you know? That would be you? You know this because you're right in the middle, so I'm going to start. What was your most interesting class that you took?
I really liked K9.
We did do a field trip this year. We went to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy. They gave a tour of the academy. We got to see actual police officers and state troopers in their training. They also got to tour, the dormitories and the firing range and the defensive tactics room, and they kind of explained what academy life is like, waking up early, kind of like military boot camp, things like that. So,
Nice.
I know that was a fan favorite. What else do you guys like?
Don't be shy, just tell
We
me.
have somebody over here that would.
Yeah.
Well, I mainly like armored vehicles because I never seen something like that and how expensive it was. So it was like a new experience for me, especially because I learned a lot of stuff about when I was here. So it's just a whole world, it's just good positive energy over here. That's all it is. None of that negative stuff. It's just positive.
Good.
That's all.
Really good.
Okay. So, well, first of all, congratulations to all the graduates. I hope you continue to pursue if that's what you want to do. If nothing else, you've learned a lot, and hopefully you guys can share that with your friends, see if they want to be a part of what you just went through for 2 weeks. But if they were interested in a career with the safety forces, what would that look like? Do they know what that would look like, and how would they participate?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in class. Of course, at the age that they're at, most of them are at, they have the Eastland Fairfield Career Center has their criminal justice program. Coming out of high school, you don't have unlimited possibilities, of course, to be a police officer. In the state of Ohio, in most municipalities, you need to be 21 years of age, but they do have the option to go into corrections through the county, or they can go to the military and pursue law enforcement through the military.
I would ask, is that generally the motivations for the young people in doing this program, or if there was other things, or?
Let's ask you guys. Raise your hand if you were interested in a career in law enforcement when you signed up for the class.
Okay.
That's great.
Maybe some of the other motivations?
Yeah. What else? Why do you guys think?
I just came here for the personal interactions.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I thought it was the armored vehicle.
So I've got a question. So did any of you, or can any of you identify maybe a thing that really surprised you that you just did not know that law enforcement is involved in, or any aha moments from your experience?
I just don't know how they can see a dead body. I'm sorry. That's not okay.
I don't disagree with that comment.
So I know some of your family, and I also have a daughter that's a sophomore at Whitehall. She'll be a junior, so let's go with you. What made you want to do this? Because I asked my daughter if she wanted to do it. She said, oh, no, Daddy, no. Yeah. Why did you get into it?
Wanted to learn more about what they do.
Good. Cool. Everybody else along those lines, same thing? Except for you two, you wanted to be officers? Good.
So you still want to go into law enforcement after this? That reinforce your, nice.
What was the most intimidating part of the class, you guys think?
Right here.
Oh, when that dog kept coming full speed at me.
Dogs. I think there was some PT, there is a physical fitness component. There's not any kind of minimum standard or anything, but mostly just kind of see where you're at and then try to improve yourself over the course of the 2 weeks. And I know that's always an intimidating part of the course too, is because, some of us, myself included, probably don't work out as much as we should. So.
Bless you.
Bless you.
But we had fun, right?
Absolutely. What do you guys think?
Well, I know I speak for everybody up there in council. I think you're all being commended to take the initiative to do this and spend the time and get better educated. We are very fortunate in Whitehall. We've got a very strong police department, which we're very thankful for, and I don't think you could learn from anybody better than our folks.
Oh, one more thing, before they sit down, if you could all gather together, turn around and face your family.
Absolutely.
so they can take a picture.
Get your phones out.
You're such a mom.
Used to be.
We are definitely gonna be in the background.
You've been close.
There's so many of them.
I think once they, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they finished?
Thank you. Our next presentation is Officer Mark Showalter in recognition of Andre Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members, Mayor Maggard, city officials. Thank you for this opportunity. As a school resource officer, I'm terrible at speaking. But I have the opportunity to work around kids, and I get to see some of the things that they've done in their life. So one young man who stuck out to me this year, he's done some amazing things, and if Andre Jackson could step up, please. So Andre's done several things. First off, I want to, if I could, call out school board member Daryl Hammock. Mr. Hammock, if you'd step up. Andre broke a 32-year standing record in the 400 meter, and he broke Daryl Hammock's record. So I think he deserves a hand.
Yeah.
Also, one of his track coaches, Mr. Barris, Mr. Barris, if you'd like to step up, please. Also, Andre took 7th in state, and 7th in the state, and the timing was pretty amazing. I mean, we're talking blink of an eye from the leader, the first place winner. Andre is also on his way to being a 4-year letterman in football, that's pretty amazing. He's on his way to being a 3-year letterman in track and in basketball. And with that, he's carrying a 4.4 with I really don't need to say anymore, so I'll step out. He does have his father, his uncle, his mother, his grandmother, and I think there's some siblings in here too.
So we've moved that up to the front of the agenda, so we'll go through our normal things, and when we get to the legislation, I'll be first with legislation.
Yeah.
Does he need to stick around for that part?
Absolutely,
Yes,
just stick around for
yes.
that part.
That's how we're honoring him.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go on to my other.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ms. Elmore?
Yeah, Officer Showalter.
Officer Showalter?
Officer Showalter.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I guess.
First of all,
Yeah.
I think that you are amazing. I've seen how kids interact with you, and there's a saying that people don't know how much they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you definitely show how much you care by the relationships that you built with these kids to make them better. And they see it because of the example that you lead. And so you continue the great work that you're doing. Because even though you don't know people are watching you. And I'm very pleased. You are an outstanding individual. And thank you so much.
I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to further change up the order of resolutions and legislation, and we're going to go ahead and jump into this right now.
So
So you said-
I want to ask you real quick, how long have you been the school resource officer, because I think the first time I realized that you were is you came down to a camp. And Jeff Patterson and I were cooking lunch, I think it was, for all the football players in this Field of Dreams. And you pulled up, and I was amazed because I'd never seen an officer come down there. So what, you've been on there 6 years?
Yes, sir.
7 years?
Yeah, 2016, January.
Yeah.
2016.
I knew Michael, my son was a senior that year, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good job, I commend you.
So please stick around.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So if there's no further comments, I'm going to jump right into resolution, our third reading, Resolution 2022, resolution honoring Whitehall yearling school student Andre Jackson for his academic achievements and athletic performance.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce Resolution 2022, and move for suspension of all rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Ms. Coniston, second by Mr. Dixon, to introduce Resolution 2022, and the suspension of all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, will you please call roll?
Smith.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt, seconded by Ms. Coniston, seconded by Mr. Dixon. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Resolution 2022 has been adopted. Andre, would you please come forward? And I'd like to have the presentation of the resolution.
I'm going to face this one, I'm going to face this way, you do the same way. They've all seen me enough. Well, you kind of stole my thunder over here, like all of the things that are already in here, but I'll go ahead and bring them anyhow. This is a resolution honoring Whitehall yearling high school student Andre Jackson for his academic achievements and athletic performance. Whereas Andre is a three-season athlete playing football, basketball, and track. He is lettered in football as a freshman, basketball, and track lettered as a sophomore. He is on his way to be a four-year letter receiver. And whereas this year Andre took 7th place in the state, competing in the 400 meter with a time of 48.74 was the time, making him the track Division I, District 2 400 meter champion, and breaking the 32-year standing 400 meter Whitehall record by Gerald Hammett in 1990. I told Gerald if I put him in here. Whereas Andre has completed these tasks while taking honors classes at Whitehall yearling and holding a 4.4 GPA. And whereas Andre is a team player, when asked by a reporter last year if he was happy with his performance, Andre said, "I was happy, but I thought I could have done better in the 400. Andre Jackson said, "Whenever I do something, I feel like I could do better than what I did. I do whatever I can to help the team get points." And whereas the accomplishments of Andre Jackson have been a source of inspiration and pride to all the students of Whitehall, all the citizens of Whitehall, whereas such efforts should be recognized, encouraged, and celebrated, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, that the council, on behalf of all the citizens, wishes to express their sincere congratulations to Andre Jackson for his individual and collective efforts, and with, sorry I didn't wear my glasses today, and with his continued success, health, and happiness. That this council commends and honors Andre Jackson of Whitehall Yearling High School for his student achievements and extending him our best wishes for a successful junior and senior year.
Speech.
Andre, could you stay there, please? Can Andre's
We're not done
parents-
with you yet.
Can Andre's parents stand up, please?
His family.
His
Where's
family, his family, yes, his family, because it takes a village. First of all, to the parents and the family, it takes a village to raise a family. It takes a whole village, and everybody, you've done a wonderful job. He is a remarkable student. He is not just an athlete, he's a scholar athlete, and that's what we raise him. So I commend you for the great job that you've done, not just in curriculum, but in athletics. And one other note, I was a 400 runner too, so I know how grueling that race is, and so congratulations. Keep up the good work, and I look for great things to happen for you. I will be following your career.
I think my favorite part of that resolution was when I found what he had said to that reporter, that, you know what, it's just all about the team.
Yeah.
And fabulous, just fabulous.
Great
Good job.
Great job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Daryl, what was your time?
48.75.
Hey, Gerald, was that on a cinder track? It is a while ago. That time's pretty.
We're gonna see him back in here.
Impressive.
Very impressive.
Why isn't that door open?
Yeah,
I think somebody's figuring it out.
yeah, it is. They're going out.
It's true. It's true. It happens.
And then there was one.
That's right. And then we were down to one.
There she is.
Hi, Michael.
Good evening. Okay, so we will now continue on with our meeting. This brings us to our first poll public of the evening. And if anyone would like to come forward, which would be you, please do so. State your name and address, and you have up to 3 minutes. Okay? Let's roll into standing committee reports. Administration and Financial Management, Chairperson Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration and Financial Management did meet last week. Our minutes are on file, and we have a number of items to introduce for council's consideration tonight. And we will meet again next Tuesday, sometime after 6:30.
Very good, thank you. Community and Elder Advocacy, Chairperson Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Community and Elder Advocacy met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we have nothing on the agenda tonight. And we will be meeting next Tuesday, a little after 6:30.
Very good. Community Standards and Enforcement, Chairperson Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Community Standards and Enforcement met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we will meet again next week.
Thank you. Economic Development, Chairperson Cantor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development last week, our minutes are on file. And I don't have anything, we have nothing on the agenda tonight. We'll meet again next week, right here, after 6:30.
Okay. Infrastructure, Maintenance and Services, Chairperson Thomason.
Thank you, President Blotter. Infrastructure Maintenance and Services also met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we'll meet again, I think next week, 6:30.
I'll make a note. Public Safety, Chairperson Elmore.
Thank you, President. Public safety met We have a resolution on the agenda today. We will meet again next week. Our committee minutes are on file.
Thank you. And Parks and Recreation, Chairperson Heck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Parks and Recreation met last Tuesday, our minutes are on file, and we will meet again this coming Tuesday, sometime after 6:30.
Very good. Official reports, Mayor Maggie.
Thank you so much, and I would just like to say thank you to City Council for recognizing Andre Jackson, and also thank you to Whitehall Police Department for their interest in raising awareness of what being a police officer is about, and also what safety is about, and they do that through engaging young people, and I want to say thank you for that. I would just like to ask for favorable consideration on first reading of ordinance 37, 38, 39, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and resolutions 21 and 22. And also, I would like to say it's only 11 days to the Food Truck Fest, so everybody just, eat a little less so you can eat a lot more on that day. Really, I love that. And then also, it's 2 weeks to National Night Out, so we're having a very busy summer. I know tomorrow is a park party at Norton Field, and Market on the Green was hopping tonight, or I should say this afternoon. So we've got a lot of things going on in the city of Whitehall, and if somebody says they don't have anything to do, well, apparently they haven't heard of what we all got going on. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. City Administrator Wood is not with us this evening. City Attorney Bivens.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council, and thank you for coming out this evening and everyone that's tuning in. I would like to just publicly thank the Whitehall Division of Police for the recognition of the young students that went through that program. I remember when Officer Showalter had that as a dream in his heart years ago, and just to see how much it's blossomed. But once again, even the recognition from you, Councilmember Coniston, as it relates to Andre Jackson, was just phenomenal. It's just warms my heart, and I know everybody that sits on council loves our city, but we're just a great city in our little 5 square miles, but we do great things, and we demonstrate the opportunity that exists here. And it just starts from the top. I mean, from the motto that we have, opportunity is here, but we walk it out on a daily basis, and we demonstrate it in the lives of the people that were here just now. And I was telling our auditor how much I love just seeing our community when they come out to things like this. It's just a beautiful testament. I wanted to say so badly to Pastor Hammock that I would broker the rematch between him and Mr. Jackson. And when I saw Mr. Jackson, I was like, no, that kid is winning, so he needs to keep on winning. But that's how I feel, just my sentiments before I get to my official report. My official report from the City Attorney's Office, a much-deserved vacation is on the horizon for our Victim Services Coordinator, Lorena Lacey, who has not taken a vacation since she's been with my office. We've kind of forced her to do that. She will be doing that next week. I wanted to state that publicly because there will not be a declination of services. We've trained Rachel Boyce, who is our paralegal, to kind of be her backup. Our lead prosecutor, Kylie Keach, is going to pick up the slack. So anyone that has a case with the City Attorney's Office that needs victim services assistance, you will not see any decline in coverage or decline in service, and I just wanted to state that publicly. Thank you.
Thank you. City Auditor Quinzel.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. Just wanted to let you know first that we have received our American Rescue Plan Act funds. Those came in last week. And for what it's worth, we got today our opioid settlement money, all $6,000. And other than that, I would appreciate your consideration on ordinances 40, 45, 46, 47, and resolution 21. Thank you.
Thank you. Director of Public Service, Greg, is not with us this evening. Treasurer Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. I was just telling Mr. Quinzel and Mrs. Quinzel from Markham Green that it feels like it's been a while since I've been in the room with you all, so happy to be
Thank you. The following official reports have been filed in the council office since our last meeting, and those will include the treasurer's investment report for January 2022, the treasurer's activity by fund report for January 2022, the treasurer's fund reconciliation report for January 2022, and the mayor's report to council for May and June 2022. Under communications, petitions, and claims, we have 3 items. That would include the agenda for the July 11th, 2022 BZBA meeting, the minutes for June 13th, 2022 BZBA meeting, and finally the minutes for the July 7th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. Ms. Thomas, would you please call roll as to whether each member of council was given a copy of each item of legislation listed on the agenda prior to the meeting and including any add-on legislation?
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Thank you. Under third reading, we have got no legislation this evening. The same holds true for second readings, which brings us to our first readings. We'll start off with Ordinance 37, 2022, authorizing and approving a fund transfer in the amount of $125,000 from unappropriated monies to the General Fund 101, the Accrued Benefit Reserve Fund 505, authorizing and approving a supplemental appropriation from the Accrued Benefit Reserve Fund 505 to the Accrued Benefit Reserve Expense Account 505.000.51,000 in the amount of $125,000 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 37, 2022, move for suspension of rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Coniston, to introduce ordinance 37, 2022, and to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Coniston. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Ordinance 37, 2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 38, 2022, authorizing and approving the following fund transfers and supplemental appropriations in a total amount of $163,000 to ensure effective operations for the remainder of the 2022 fiscal year and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 38, 2022, move for suspension of all rules.
Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Smith, to introduce ordinance 38, 2022, and for suspension of all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Smith. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Ordinance 38, 2022 has been adopted. Bless you. Ordinance 39, 2022, authorizing and approving the following fund advances in a total amount of $98,828.64 and declaring emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 39, 2022, and move for suspension of all rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Coniston, to introduce ordinance 39, 2022, and for suspension of all rules. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules are suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Coniston. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Ordinance 39, 2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 40, 2022, authorizing and approving a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $1,500 from unappropriated monies in the State Sales Tax Fund 856 to the Sales Tax Expense Account 856.000.50,000 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 40, 2022, move for suspension of all the rules.
Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Heck, to introduce ordinance 40, 2022, and for the suspension of all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt, second by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Heck. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Ordinance 40-2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 41-2022 will be read by title only this evening, which is amending Ordinance 40-040-2011 to update the tax exemptions available within the Main Street redevelopment district and community reinvestment area. Ordinance 42-2022 will also be read by title only, which is amending the zoning map attached to Chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, and is subsequently amending the planned unit development PUD approved on November 2nd, 2021 for the property located on East Broad Street, Hamilton Road, and Poth Road, and parcel numbers listed in Appendix A, property owned by the City of Whitehall, and declaring an emergency. Also being read by title only this evening will be Ordinance 43-2022, approving community reinvestment area real property tax exemption applications for Yearling Rickenbacker Development Group, LLC, Whitehall Community Improvement Corporation, Yearling Green 1, LLC, or the respective designees, and declaring an emergency. And our final piece of legislation that will be read by title only this evening is Ordinance 44-2022, approving a community reinvestment area real property tax exemption application for Buckeye Apartments, LLC, for its designee, and authorizing the execution of a master community reinvestment area agreement for the provision of real property tax abatements within East Broad Street District Community Reinvestment Area in accordance with a development agreement and for the purpose of encouraging the creation of new jobs within the city and declaring an emergency. That brings us to Ordinance 45-2022, making and approving a fund transfer in the amount of $40,612 from unappropriated monies in the General Fund 101 to the Street Maintenance and Repair Fund 201, making a supplemental appropriation of $40,612 from the Street Maintenance and Repair Fund 201 to the Signals Signs Expense Account 201.000.53,500 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 45-2022, move for suspension of rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Coniston, to introduce ordinance 45-2022 and for suspension of all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
A motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Coniston. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Ordinance 45-2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 46-2022, authorizing and approving the appropriation transfer in the amount of $8,065.60 from appropriated monies in the 267.000.53,000 2019 Bulletproof Vest Expense Account to the 2021 Bulletproof Vest Expense Account 267.000.54,000 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 46-2022, move for suspension of rules.
Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Elmore, to introduce ordinance 46-2022 and to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Elmore. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
Ordinance 46-2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 47-2022, authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $4,000 from previously unappropriated monies in the General Fund 101 to account 101.950.57,200, municipal court costs, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 47-2022, move for suspension of all rules.
Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Smith, to introduce ordinance 47-2022 and to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Heck.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Smith. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 47, 2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 48, 2022, authorizing and approving the Creation Fund 324 titled PD Building Renovation Addition, authorizing and approving a fund advance transfer in the amount of $184,450 from unappropriated monies in the General Fund 101 to the PD Building Renovation Addition Fund 324, appropriating $184,450 from the PD Building Renovation Addition Fund 324 to the 324-000-51,000 expense account and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 48, 2022, and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Heck, to introduce ordinance 48, 2022, and to suspend all rules. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, seconded by Ms. Heck. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 48, 2022 has been adopted. Ordinance 49, 2022, authorizing and approving an advance fund transfer in the amount of $250,000 from unappropriated monies in the General Fund 101 to the 314 Technology Fund, approving a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $250,000 from the 314 Technology Fund to the Technology Expense Account 314.000.50,000 and declaring emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 49, 2022, and move for suspension of all rules.
I would like to second that motion.
Thank you. Ordinance 49, 2022 has been introduced by Mr. Bailey with a second by Mr. Dixon with a request to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second.
A motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Dixon. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 49, 2022 has been adopted. Resolution 21, 2022, adopting the tax budget for the City of Whitehall, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, and submitting the same to the county auditor and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce resolution 21, 2022, and move for suspension of all rules.
Second.
It's a tongue twister. Mr. Bailey, with the second from Mr. Cantor, has introduced Resolution 21, 2022, with the request to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Cantor. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas?
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 21, 2022 has been adopted. Our final piece of legislation this evening is Resolution 22, 2022, approving a resolution for the mayor of the city of Whitehall to enter into a contract with Concord Adidas Construction Consultants to provide owner's representative service on the police station expansion and renovations and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I wish to introduce resolution 2022 and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second?
There's been a motion by Ms. Elmore, second by Ms. Heck, to introduce Resolution 22, 2022, and for the suspension of all rules. Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
I'd like to move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Ms. Elmore, second by Ms. Heck. Any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 22-2022 has been adopted. This now brings us to our second full public of the evening. Anybody would like to come forward?
It's been time.
I'm seeing nobody. That brings us to our community date board.
Mayor pretty much got it.
Yeah, Mayor, he doesn't have it.
Really?
She's on top of her game.
She did good.
Yeah, see, I put it all out there before.
Yeah. Well played, Mayor, well played.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll move on to poll council. Ms. Smith.
Oh, a joy, I get to
Well,
first
you always
today.
complain about going last, so here it is.
It's so much easier going last. You're just like whatever they say. Thank you for those that came in this evening. Congratulations to all the students that were here today. That was really cool to see. Kids getting out and getting involved outside of school. As they've said, there's a lot of great things going on in the city. Come out and join us. Sometimes a lot of people don't show up, but there's always something going on. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to say that having competed at the state level in high school and trying to just get into the state level is very difficult. And what Mr. Jackson, Andre did several different sports, especially in the 400, is absolutely remarkable. And just to make it to that level is one thing, but to place fourth, that's pretty impressive. The graduating class from the Youth Police Academy, I think with the numbers and the involvement they had this year is indicative of how much this community actually supports the police department, when we think about the levy that we just passed. But one thing that stands out to me is not only are those officers dedicated to what they do, I really feel like they're dedicated to this community, the people in it, having interactions with them and the way they conduct themselves. It's something to be proud of. And I'm just glad that this council supports our police department. Other than that, Mr. President. Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple things. Thank you to Chief Crispin for the presentation and the youth police academy graduates. I think it's so terrific that young people are willing to get involved civically. I think that's very important. I know that I've been heard in the past grumble perhaps about some youth that are causing troubles or problems or whatever, but the opposite of that are folks like these kids that are getting involved in this sort of thing. And I think it's heartfelt when I say how important that is and how much I appreciate it. I also want to thank personally Andre Jackson. Again, another example of someone doing such a wonderful job and rising to the top when that's what we expect of people, but sometimes they don't get to that marker, and he's just a shining example of things I believe in our society. As usual, I want to thank everyone watching from home. Participation, whether you're here or watching, is always very important. And of course, the two folks here, Mr. Shannon, nice to see you. I hope I didn't hurt you with that candy that I threw at you on July 4th. You look fit. So. And I'd also like to mention and appreciate Councilman Bailey powering through all those first readings and all of the words that Mr. Potter had to read tonight. I want to say thank you, and that was amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
So that'll be it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Elmore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everybody that has participated, that has watched, that come week after week, and also the amazing families and the community that support young people and encourage them to continue to do better. I just believe that Chief Crispin promotes good programs that educate and could be feeder and careers to students and anybody else that's interested in safety courses. Also, I'll second the motion Councilor Bailey said regarding competing at the state level. That is very difficult. You go through sectionals and you go through a whole bunch just to get there. And so the amazing work that Andre Jackson has done, it's a lot to be a scholar athlete. And his family is to be commended again, and all the students that participated in the Police Academy graduates. As Counselor said before, Counselor Smith, I just think that Whitehall has a lot of programs and a lot of things to do. And so it's never short of things to do. So come out, participate in Food Fest. We have so much for everybody. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Coniston.
Thank you, President Potter. I don't have anything new to add, other than everybody remember the name Andrew, because I'm telling you, he's gonna be back here. He's got 2 more years to go in high school, so who knows, he's gonna break his own record again. So, wonderful to see these students out tonight. We just need more of that, and we need more recognitions, we need more appreciations, and we need more celebrations to knock down all the negativity in the world and showcase all the wonderful things that life has to offer. And that's what we had tonight.
I definitely concur. Thank you. Mr. Cantor.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Going second to the last, sometimes the view never changes, so I'm going to add a little bit to it, but thanks everybody for watching, and especially Mr. Shannon, thank you for your presence tonight. So, really nice. I first want to start with Jerry. So Jerry must be looking at my notes, but what you do is really awesome. I see you sit here, and when you're at work, I see Mr. Bailey. So it's like, the first team, second backup quarterback, and third string. And so when you're gone, Mr. Bailey's up there, and I watch, and I hear you, and I see what all the notes you do and everything. And I pretty much do a lot like you do. And what you do is hard. It's not easy. I mean, people take it for granted that what you do is really easy, and it's not, and I commend you. And I was almost going to ask you to reread, I forget what ordinance was, 48, 2022, go for a third reading, just so I can hear you read that over and over again.
I do have a gavel. So.
Yes, that's really good. So, but I just want to let you know that.
Thank you, Wes.
You're welcome. And Mr. Bailey as well. It's tough. We joked a couple weeks ago about what it's like to be come from the bullpen out here on the mound. It's tough to do. It's really tough. Our treasurer, Mr. Alexander, getting those reports out, I appreciate that. I know coming in as green as you are and trying to get those to council, you get somebody helping you over here, and that's really good. When Steve came on, it was tough because he didn't have a lot of help, and you got him to us, and it's a hard thing, and I greatly appreciate that. And Casey Thomas, thanks for stepping in tonight. Got the doors unlocked, letting all these people in tonight. That was great. It was phenomenal. You got this thing working. We didn't think we were going to be streamed live, so I just wanted to mention that. I wanted to thank everybody that came in and the parents. And I want to say one thing about what Bob said and Lori. And Lori was really, really close. And Shaq will, Mr. Alexander will know, Whitehall is Division II, and they're in Division I. So what this young man did, Andre Jackson, it's amazing, because you got a school of, help me, Mr. Quinzel, Shaq, Joanna, 800 kids up here at Whitehall? Is it more than 862? So, I mean, we even dropped the division just in football and basketball for people that don't realize that this year, which is fine, because, football, we should be Division III. Basketball, they dropped us from 1 to 2. So, and what that means is you've got little Whitehall, and I watched my son go through this and go sectionals and districts, and then you're going against Division I. You're going against schools that's got 3, 4, 5,000 kids against little old Whitehall. And for what Mr. Jackson did, kudos to you. Just phenomenal. Had great coaches. We had school board here tonight. Daryl Hammock, who was my son's, his coach. So when you read about this kid and you talk about this kid, you got to know what he actually went through. To beat all these kids in Division I and to be a 10 seed and come out number 7 in the state from Whitehall, that's amazing. And on top of that, to counter that, as Lori said, as a scholar athlete at a 4.4, we have good kids here. We have really, really, really good kids here. So that's basically all I wanted to say, and thank everybody. And I only have one watching tonight, and Isabel, I'll see you real soon. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Wes. Yes, Heck.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I feel like everything's been said, so I will keep it short. The presentations were great. It was great to see all the families and youth, and hopefully we'll see many of you at the events coming up. That's all.
Great. As for myself, again, it's been so eloquently covered this evening, so I will let that lay. But I too would like to thank Bob for covering for me for last week. As always, very much appreciated. And Casey, you're doing a swell job, so keep it up.
Promoted?
Mr. President.
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Been a motion by Mr. Bailey to adjourn, second by Mr. Cantor. Is there any discussion? Ms. Thomas, please call roll.
Smith? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Cantor?
Yes.
Yes.
And we are adjourned at 7:58.
Now,
I'm sorry?
wait.
Yeah, me too.
Did you get lost?